Hey everybody, happy Monday! Today is Monday, April 16th, 2018. We're at the lovely Citrus Club. I have my new mug from my friend Eileen. I don't know if I know it's backwards, but it says, shh, there might be wine in here or vodka. And look who popped on first, your beautiful wife, Sarah. Hey Sarah. Is it funny to hear the W word? Wife? So you guys can obviously hear us or see us. I'm with my friend David Daudin, who has unfortunately had to endure me and a few of my meetings for the past hour. I like how he pushes that alleged cocktail right out of the view of, there's no cocktail. So Diane Bourne's on. I know you guys can hear us or see us, or you guys be saying stuff super loud. So welcome to the show, buddy. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
So, hey, wifey reporting for duty. Sarah, we love you. So I didn't even know how to pronounce your last name. Isn't that terrible? I thought it would be, because you're from France, and we want to hear a little bit about that. You were born in France, but I thought it was going to be like Daudin or David, but it's David Daudin.
It's David Daudin. It's as boring as it gets.
It's not boring at all. So he was a little nervous today, Sarah, and I don't know why. I think it's because he's used to being behind the camera.
Yeah.
You know I'm going to tell all your stuff on show. I mean,
Put all my business out.
All right, so welcome. So let's talk about you. That's always the beginning. People want to get to know you. They want to know even why are you on TED's show? You probably don't know yet either. Sarah said, oh my God, you need to go on TED's show. It's your penance for something you did in the past. But give them a little background. I already said you were born in France, but tell them about your background and how you got over here.
Okay. Yeah, I was born in France.
Do you speak French?
I speak French, yes.
Oh, very cool.
I'm fluent. It's a little broken. It's been a few years, but yeah, I'm fluent in French. And I moved here when I was 10 years old. I spent the first 8 years of my life in France. Then I spent 2 years in Haiti, and then moved to the States when I was 10 years old. Moved to Miami, and then Oklahoma, and then Orlando.
So what would you consider your accent?
My accent is from everywhere. The French don't claim me, the Haitians don't claim me, the U.S. doesn't claim me. So
that's awesome, though. France is one of my favorite places on the planet, and French is better than English. Lamar Pinson says. I'm assuming that's somebody you know, and he loves croissants. You love his accent, Shirley, right? So this is what I was talking about. This is the immediate stuff where you want to give feedback. It's like having an audience. I bet you love croissants.
I
no
do
doubt.
love croissants.
See?
I love chocolate croissants from Starbucks.
Oh, have you and Sarah been back to France, or do you go back to France? Have family over there?
No, I haven't. Actually, I haven't been back in years. But I mean, that's the goal. I want to go back. Sarah wants to go to Europe, and I'd like to take her.
It's awesome.
Yeah, just do some traveling out there.
Move closer. Edgar, I love you. Edgar's great.
Sorry, Edgar, can you hear me now?
There it is.
Can you hear me now?
He's used to being behind the scenes.
Yeah,
so
I'm not
he
good
needs a
on
director. You're great on camera. Look,
Yeah.
You look great.
Thank you.
You look great.
I try to wear my grown man outfit.
Yeah. Listen, that's overrated,
You
my
do
friend.
wear t-shirts and tank tops. So.
All right, so give us. So you moved here, but what did you do when you got over here? You have family here. Did you go? What made you become what you are today? Like, did you go to school? You went to Full Sail? I think I read, or you worked with Full Sail. I think I read that in your bio. I'm terrible about bios. I send them so people will read them.
He didn't read my bio.
I did not read your bio.
Okay.
I saw the France part, and that was all I stuck on.
He said, okay, got it. No. I actually went to Oklahoma State for marketing. That was my bachelor's.
Oklahoma State.
I
How
went
do
to
you go
Oklahoma
from
State.
France to Haiti to Miami to Oklahoma State?
Don't ask. It's a crazy story. But no. So I went to Oklahoma State and I studied marketing. And while I was there, I kind of wanted to get into advertising. And I figured during our capstone exam project, we had a marketing project with Honda. Ended up doing the video for it. Kind of fell in love with it. So decided to pursue a career in film. So went to Full Sail. Now I learned a little bit about film, a lot actually. And once I got out, I kind of,
Yeah, but so how do you go?
Hit the ground
I know, but what people want to know, so what I love about, hey Tyler, what I want to know, and what people want to know is, so you you go from marketing. Did you have a passion for film before, or did you just get bitten by the bug, as they say, when you were doing the commercial or doing that? Like, how does that happen? Did you make films as a kid? Did you star in things?
No. Actually, my film story is actually not the typical. I had an interest in it. I had no, when I was in film school, my professors used to ask the class, who's your favorite director? What do you want to do in film? And that wasn't really my thing. My entire life, I always wanted to, well, not my entire life, but I wanted to start something creative. I wanted to create a creative platform for other creatives. And
is that what you're, like, as a kid, what did you want to do? Did you want to be...
I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Well, that's all right, because I'm 35 and I still don't know what I want to do.
As a kid, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had interest. I was interested in a lot of different things. And when I was in college, I partied a lot. I did a lot of partying, and
there is no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone right here, my friend.
I got to meet a lot of people, and in the process of meeting those people, I learned different things, and picked up different hobbies. One of those hobbies was photography, and as I got more comfortable with my camera, I kind of wanted to get into video. Then I started looking up film schools and found Full Sail, and Full Sail. Full Sail brought me to Orlando.
Little louder, Diane says.
Okay.
See this, I told you, the audience will tell you. He's used to directing, so he's all right. He'll take direction.
I'm not very loud. But, Full Sail brought me to Orlando. Decided to learn video. This was in 2013. Spent after a year of film school, I decided to start my company, which is a creative agency. And
so tell me about creative agency. Hey, Jolie. Hey, Diane. Tell me what that means, because I saw that in your bio and I love it, and I think I know what it is. But when people read it, what do people think? Say with yo chest, big bro. That's what he says. That's Vicente Willis. Hey, hey, man.
Vincent.
Yeah,
that's my brother.
So what does that mean? What does creative agency mean? Because a lot of times people will read the bio, they have no earthly idea. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I hashtag filmmaker because that was the closest that I thought people would understand. But what does creative agency mean? And we'll talk about what My Two means as well.
Yeah. So pretty much My Two standing for, it stands for Mine, Yours, Theirs, Ours. And
mine, yours, theirs, ours.
And coming from, during film school, I learned a lot about working as a team, because when you're creating films, movies, whatever, there's a whole set. There's a group of people that come together and create this masterpiece, right? And so nobody really works on their own. And Mine, Yours, Theirs, Ours kind of bring that circle together.
Collaborative.
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort. So when I got out of film school and I started working on videos with different people, I met a lot of creative people from, designers, artists, musicians, photographers, and all these different people. And I realized that they all kind of needed each other, So I just wanted to create this platform where people could work together and create, I guess, for the greater good.
What's your role in that? You're behind the camera. Are you mostly the director?
No. My role is, honestly, I'm in a sense, my forte is cinematography. But I do well as in a sense, producer and kind of guiding those creators, because Orlando has a huge creative market.
We do. We have a huge creative market.
Yeah, so many creative people in Orlando, and the thing is, they're all a lot of them are very young, and in a sense need guidance to where they don't know where to go. They have a skill and they don't know where to take it. And I guess my role is to kind of, because I have somewhat of a background in business, understanding, you can take your skill and make more out of it than what you think.
Correct.
And so I've worked with a lot of young people, and I'm realizing their talent and kind of expose them to bring two worlds together versus the corporate world and the creative world, and let the corporate world know that, okay, there are kids out there that can help my company.
Which we talked about that, because we really don't, a lot of the talent that you work with or that you've come in contact with, they work with people who we'd love. I love Maxine. We'd love for him to speak a little French. I'm getting to that. He doesn't know it yet, but hey, Jen. Hey, Jen Waterman. But I think you said earlier, a lot of the people here, they work with people in LA or New York because people don't know them here, or they don't know about the talent here, and it's easier for them to work. But you're actually with My Two, which Sarah posted the link, Mine, Yours, Theirs, Ours, and My Two Studios. She actually did it in the comments. Mm-hmm. You're trying to change that. I mean, you guys are really trying to get the word out and work with them locally, because there is so much talent. The talent base here is huge, like you said, but a lot of people don't know. They don't know if the resources are here, if you're on the talent side, and then the talent agency side doesn't know about some of the talent that's in Orlando or in the Central Florida area.
Well, the thing is, a lot of these kids, they're not. You know, talent agencies. You have talent agencies that find like talent that are pushing themselves to be actors or things like that. But then you have these kids who go to Full Sail, go to Valencia, go to UCF, and they're extremely talented, but they're young and they don't know how to reach the older crowd or put themselves out there in a business sense, and they struggle, and they feel like, maybe the creative world is not the best thing for me because I can't make a living out of it. But
why do they struggle? Do they struggle because they don't understand the business?
They're not given a chance.
So they don't have the tools to get in front of the people? Because I had John Holloway on here last week, and John's a filmmaker, Real Productions. Mm-hmm. He does, and one of the things here, and Edgar, who's on earlier, Orlando's definitely an undiscovered market. You're right, Sarah. It really is. But I think a lot of people think, they read the articles, like, first of all, don't go to Craigslist as your first place where you're going to decide you want to audition for something, or you want a headshot necessarily, because if you're paying to be part of a certain, and you've got to get your headshots done, don't get me wrong, but if there are certain things that you shouldn't be paying for as a professional, and if you're getting into that world and you're getting all of your information off Craigslist instead of a professional creative agency like My Two is with David, then chances are you're just going off in a direction that is really, in my opinion, dangerous, mainly because I work on the human trafficking side, and you have to be incredibly careful about Craigslist, nothing against them, Craigslist and the people who post on there, because you want to go with professional. Why wouldn't you? You Google everything else, so Google creative talent agencies, Google creative agencies in town, go to the My Two Studios page or Facebook page and really check it out. And honestly, I think that if you have the wherewithal, you can tell the difference. If all they're doing is asking for money up front on everything that you're doing, then maybe you're not at the right place.
Well, the thing is, it's like there's the difference between LA, New York, Atlanta, Orlando. The difference between Orlando and all those other major cities is they take it more seriously out there. They look at it like, okay, these kids or these people, these creative people are professionals and they're extremely good at what they do. So let me take their craft seriously. In Orlando, what I've come to realize is a lot of people see it as a hobby versus seeing it as, these people really spent time, like timeless. They spend a lot of hours.
But we don't think of Orlando as an LA or New York yet. Yet I believe we do have the talent here. Why is that? Is that because they're taught that Orlando is not the place to be, and that LA and New York are traditionally the places to go? And when we talk about talent, really quick, I want to ask you about that. It's perspective, but I want to ask you, so talent, that could be singers, video producers, it could be anything across the spectrum, right, mm-hmm. of talent. It could be modeling, it could be filmmaking, any of the things that go along with that, like you were talking about, mine, yours, theirs, ours. There's such a collaboration there, so it could be a ton of different positions that you might be in or interests that you have. and yet people are going outside of Orlando to fulfill those needs.
Yeah, because they expect that they're going to get better quality outside of Orlando because of the reputation that they've built outside of Orlando. But the thing is, these kids, they're coming out of school and they're spending a lot of money and they're spending a lot of time making sure that they can be great at what they do.
Correct.
And if you give them a chance and you tell them, hey, I trust you to do this for me, they can actually do it. But the thing is, if you're not willing to invest any kind of money into it because you think, oh, they're young, well, they have bills too. They have things that they have to take care of.
Correct.
Let give them an opportunity to make a living and still provide you with the best service possible.
Yes.
And then you'll realize that you don't have to go all the way to LA because you're actually spending more when you don't want to invest in your own and the people in your city, and you want to take it to a different city.
Correct.
Because you think that they'll do a better job. That's not the case. Because now what's happening is all the talent that is in Orlando feels like they have to leave to get an opportunity in their craft. So with My Two, the goal, and it's not...
Yes, let's talk about My Two's goal.
Yeah, the goal is to show that we have a very talented platform, that you don't have to go out to find those talented kids, and supporting like other creatives that are not necessarily quote unquote you're established, you're celebrity, you're the people you think have large followings, therefore they're good. No, because there are a lot of talented kids that don't actually strive to get a large following. They're focused on their craft. So you might actually get a better quality product out of somebody that's not well known than somebody that's well known, because you'll have somebody that's well known that's not willing to give you the time of day because they have so many people contacting them, versus somebody that just wants to prove themselves.
Sarah says kids and adults, right?
And adults, yeah,
I was going to
exactly,
ask you about that.
exactly.
No, he's. I understand what he's saying. He's referencing kids because he's parental. He's parental, Sarah. I can tell. He's got that fatherly thing. But I think you have to be when you are totally fatherly. I think you have to be when you are kind of guiding them, like you said earlier. That was your role. I asked you what your role was, producer, kind of collaborating with people. Yes, that's David, Ralph. Ralph's awesome. I just met Ralph this weekend at an open house. Yeah, he's awesome. But I think that you in that role, that's why you're referring to them as kids. These are the people that, Sarah, I love it. You know I'm going to feed into that. #baby fever. But I think that it's important for people to understand that it is adults too. So like I was going to say to you, when you're talking about creatives, when you're talking about people who don't know the resources here, is this just actors? Is it actors and singers? Is it, I'm semi-famous in my mind, so what would happen if I said, I want to expand my show? You've got a talent. I'm not the talent, but let's say you have somebody talented. He did my picks for my business cards. See? I love that. That's cool. Who should reach out to you? Like, what's a good client? Like, is it the person whose kid they swear is the best singer on the planet, and then it's like the American Idol auditions where we all watch and we cringe and we can't turn away because it's like roadkill? Yeah. Or are these people who've really gone through a program, really have this raw talent? How do they get to you? You have to seek out the talent, David Morris says. So give them a little background, because I don't know if they know what to think. Is it actors? Is it videographers? Is it everybody behind the camera and in front of the camera?
It's people who are dedicated, because at the end of the day, it's not about how talented you are. Naturally talented is how hard you're willing to work. Because you can have somebody that completely sucks at the beginning, which honestly, when I got to film school, I knew nothing about video. And because I knew nothing about video, I absorbed everything that was thrown at me, because I felt like I had something to prove. And when I finished film school, I kept learning because I still felt like I wasn't good enough. But that mentality stayed with me. And I continued to learn until, people started saying, oh, you're good at what you're doing. But it's because I was willing to teach myself and constantly learn. So I feel like from people who are trying to make it in whatever field it is, and this doesn't even have to be creative, it's any field, put in the time and effort to be extremely good at what you're doing.
Right.
Because that's going to, people see that. And when they see improvement and they see you're constantly striving to be better than you were yesterday, then they're going to trust you because they'll see the potential. And I think that's what happened with the company is because I think people have seen the growth and they've seen everything that I said I wanted to do in the past, and when I was, at zero and where I'm at now, people are seeing that, okay, he's working towards getting better and better and better and better. And it's leading to people trusting me. So what I would say for actors, directors, models, anything, just don't let other people's opinion keep you from pushing yourself to the next
now,
level.
can people come to you who are in all those categories? Do you look for people who are trying to forward themselves in the acting world, in the music world, in the video world, in the modeling world? Is there any particular group that you focus on, or it could be any talent?
What helped me with my two was my trust and believing that people could take themselves to the next level. And I put a lot of time and effort in helping people get to their best self and just, investing time and helping people, when you see potential in people early on, that's the hardest thing is seeing this person is really good. They just don't have the resources to get to where they need to be.
Correct.
And giving people a chance to okay, I know you're good. I know you're trying to make it, but you don't have X, Y, Z to help you. Well, I can provide you with Y. Now let's see how we can get X and Z. And if you're willing to work with me to get you X and Z, then I'll keep working with you and we'll get there together. Because as you grow, I grow. And as you learn, I'm learning, right?
Correct.
And so you can't really put a cap on anybody. Anybody can come. It's all about work ethic. Because if you're not working hard and I'm putting 100% into trying to help you, then I'm gonna back away because I'm gonna say, okay, well, I'm putting 100%, you're putting 50%.
Correct.
Then at this point, I have to do my own thing.
So Sarah says David truly does have a way of seeing the creative in creatives, and what I would comment on that is that your industry. I laugh when I try to include myself in on that, but anything that's in entertainment, you are very humble and kind-hearted for an industry that is full of ego. And so how do you maneuver around that? Because any director I've ever met, any producer I've ever met, and I'm generalizing, but they have as much, if not more, ego than the actors or music people that they're working with. So your conversations, you're positive, you're inspirational, you're motivational, how you engage people, how you care about people, that's such a breath of fresh air in this industry. So how do you keep that fresh, that up front, and still deal with all of the craziness that is anything in the creative world? Because creatives tend to be a challenge because they're creative. They're creative and they've either honed their craft, they haven't honed it. It doesn't matter. They still have this beautiful gift, and yet you're dealing with an ego. Maybe it's been fed from them. Maybe it's been fed by all the accolades they've had around them. But the way that you talked today was very not David-centric, which is lovely. I didn't expect that, but it's refreshing. I want you to know that. And so how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the egos when you are obviously not an ego-driven person?
Patience.
Patience. Did you hear that?
You have to be really patient, and you also have to understand that you can't be afraid to fail. I think people's egos.
You can't be afraid to fail.
People's egos come from the fear of failure. Because if you fail, you feel like, okay, I'm not good at what I do.
Correct.
The thing is, if you fail, it's just because you tried a route and that route didn't work. So you try again, and it should actually make you better. So you can't be afraid to fail, and you can't be afraid to have somebody challenge you to be better.
Agreed.
So me helping people, sometimes I'll say things and people will say, nah, that's not right. I can take it one or two ways. I can take it to where I can argue with them and say, no, I am right, or I can analyze what I just said and say, okay, I see where you're coming from. Let me see what I can do to better that. So if and that leads to growth, because now you're evaluating yourself and you're saying, okay, I thought I was right, but I'm not. So let me see what I can do to better myself. And if you're constantly doing that, you'll get to a point where you're looking at every angle of everything. So in the future, when somebody approaches you and says, hey, you should do this, then you're looking at it like, I know, I already evaluated that, so I already know this is the right way to go about it. Not because I don't agree that I don't see your point of view, but because I already went through that, and I understand that if I go this way, it's more beneficial to me in this sense. So I think just humbling yourself and understanding that, it's okay to take people's opinions and listen to people and see whether or not it's the right way or beneficial to your company or yourself is your best way to grow. So you can't be afraid to grow and learn and take criticism from people.
I love that. All right, Diane Bourne says, what a great interview, Ted, and that's because David's a great interview.
Thank you, Diane.
And of course, Sarah, I got to read all this. My smart gummy bear, I'm going to read that.
Wow.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
we're going to share all of David's contact information and his website and how to reach him. And Sarah is an incredibly great friend and an awesome wife, obviously. Hashtag baby fever.
She pushes me.
But what I really loved about this, and then I want you to leave them with some parting words of wisdom and some French, by the way, I promised Maxine. What I loved about this is that I knew you to be humble and kind-hearted. And so you can't fake that, and that's what I love about Facebook Live. We talked about this earlier. You can't fake that. There's no editing. And so you come across like that to the audience, and that's why they responded to you. That's why you have lots of hearts going across and likes. And I think that's so wonderful. So if you want to engage as a creative, why wouldn't you engage with David? He's parental, he's fatherly, he's caring, he's kind. And I think that is so critical in any business we do, but especially when you're dealing with creatives and you're trying to help them, because that's obviously the message. You said it over and over again. You want to help people. You want to help creatives be as creative as they can and actually manifest that in a way where they're actually successful at being creative. So thank you for being on the show. So 2 things, parting words of wisdom, and then at least something in French so Maxine Earhart from Maxine's on Shine can hear that, which I'd love to hear it too. I love French. So there you go.
Parting words. Well, just keep striving, just keep going, and just keep, just push yourself to be the best person you can be in whatever field you're in. And if you feel like being, don't doubt yourself. If you have an idea and you think this is actually a good idea, there's nothing wrong with going after it. Because a lot of times you'll have a great idea and you'll pitch it to people and they'll down talk it. And the reason being is because they've never heard it and it's something new. And when something is new, it's easy to say, nah, that'll never work. Because if something was that obvious and it was that clear as day that it would work, then everybody would be doing it. So a good idea comes from, something that's never been done and pitching it to people and saying, hey, I have this idea. And when they decline it, just say, all right, cool. Well, I'm just telling you, this is something that I'm going to do, and just do it. And if it fails, adjust, because it takes a little bit of tweaking and fixing the things that didn't go right. It doesn't mean scratch that entire idea. It just means you have to tweak a few things. And once you tweak them, you'll be surprised. That's where great companies come from. 3 of my idols, 3 people that I really look up to. It's a weird mix, but it's Richard Branson for Virgin, the Virgin brand, Diddy, and Jay-Z. And reason being is Richard Branson, I love what he did with the Virgin brand. He took it he took a record store and made it to where there was no limit to what he could do with the brand. And now he's going to space because I'm sure people told him, oh, you went from you want to have a record store and you're wanting to do this and that doesn't make sense. But the fact that he took action and did everything he could to take it to the next level is inspiring. And then Diddy's willingness to put himself out there, no matter what. For decades, he's been such an inspiration in hip hop because he's willing to put himself out there, embarrass himself, but his mentality is,
keep talking up, buddy.
I really like. I like this, and I think this is a good idea, so I'm going to go for it. And he doesn't stop, and that's why his motto is "Can't stop, won't stop." And Jay-Z's business mind, is if somebody that's so low key makes all the right moves at the right time. So those are three people that inspire me, and I kind of watched them growing up, so find people that inspire you, man, and follow them.
Agreed.
So outside of that, pour le français.
Oui.
Oui. J'espère que tu vous appréciez cette interview. Et voilà.
He appreciates the interview.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Merci
Well,
beaucoup,
wonderful. Hold on. I forgot what merci beaucoup. Yeah, I'm supposed to say something. It's not de nada. That's Spanish.
Michael, I'm sorry, man. I'm a very low talker. I don't do well on camera.
He does fantastic on camera. So lots of hearts, lots of love. You were fantastic.
Oh yeah, social medias. My social media is David Myto. Instagram at David Myto.
And we're going to share all of that.
David MYTO. And then my website is daviddaudin.com.
Awesome.
So hopefully.
Thank you, buddy.
You guys enjoyed this.
We did.
Ciao.
Thank you so much, man. All right, we love you guys. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Sarah, for letting him come on. #BabyFever. I'm on that.
Thank you, babe.
Love you guys.